Alright, how y'all doing? It's a bit of it's hectic, and my desire to troubleshoot is through the floor. I'm tired and I can feel stress levels rising. Cross your fingers. Wish me luck. Yeah, you can shut up. I need more than coffee to fix today. Barely started. Everything's broken. Woo! A bunch of my audio devices have decided to stop being recognised. Alright. I'm a bit on edge. My oldest boy has gone on a school trip, and I'm on high alert until, well, tomorrow afternoon. And it's like, yeah, there you go, just to prove a point. Battery just ran out. Oh god. So yeah, so I'm on edge. I'm really on edge, and just things aren't going according to plan, and tolerance of things not going according to plan is just what do I deal with right now? Got a lot on my plate. Just want things to work. They worked before, why don't they work now? Oh, I hope boys have good days in school today. Hope good trips. Oh. I'm going to go try and do a VR live stream on Linux. I'm going to try the overlay. Right now my audio is for some reason broken because it was working first thing this morning and now it isn't. That's not necessarily a Linux fault, just I've been fiddling and I'm thinking I might as well just nuke and repave the machine, the Linux side of it, just to get it clean, because it is just a pull from the Linux gaming machine. It wasn't configured with that box in mind, so I'm going to give that the go and see what happens. But I'm going to whack just no. No wonder I'm going bald of stress, innit? Just wish me luck. Well, that wasn't totally terror bad. Not fantastic either, but I managed to, I can't even say realistically that was my first full stream in VR on Linux. It was a full stream in VR on Linux, however it wasn't a full length for me. But so I started late and I finished early. I finished early because I managed to crash my overlay. I do not like the overlay that I was using in stream, and frankly, to be honest with you, I hate using the overlays and stuff with these anyway. I don't actually like playing. I was playing Zenith. I don't like playing Zenith with these. The only real downside gameplay wise through being on Linux was lack of voice chat. So I can talk to people in stream. I could see the chat through the overlay, which again I eventually broke, which was my fault because I was fiddling towards the end of the stream. Actually, the stream kept going, just the overlay wouldn't refresh. So I actually managed to crash my entire desktop environment. But yeah, the only downside was the voice chat and game didn't work. Everything else was working fine. It was alright. It was a bit disorientating that I didn't have the chat on my wrist like I normally have when I do live streams and stuff, but that's a limitation of the overlay from what I can see. That said, there is another overlay that I could potentially use, but I don't actually know how to get it to work. Something I might have to look into. Now I've got myself a little goal to do for the now. I'm going to nuke my Linux install. I'm a little OCD with my Linux installs. I'm not gonna lie, not proper OCD, not like I have to check to make sure I've locked the door 15 times and then make sure it's like, you know, is the door shut? Yes. Better check. Open it, shut it, open it, shut it, open it, shut it, walk away, is it still shut? Go back, lock it and all that. Like, not that bad, wash my hands 15 times and that kind of thing. Probably a terrible description of OCD. Someone with actual OCD, not they claim they have OCD, but they just like to have things a bit neat and tidy. Yeah, someone with actual OCD will probably go, what the fuck are you talking about? But I have this issue with my Linux installs where if I do something that isn't necessary, it irks me. And I mean, it really, really irks me. I'm kind of like that on Windows too. Like if I install something that isn't necessary, it really bugs me. Or if I have to install it and then uninstall it or reinstall something, it just really, really, really gets on my tits. And on Linux, like if I run a command, so I installed a couple of overlays, didn't I? The other day I said I was fiddling around with overlays and stuff like that. Some of the stuff was uninstalled, reinstalled, a different version was installed, and all that kind of stuff. It really, really, really got on my nerves, and I installed like FFmpeg Vulkan and stuff like that to get, is it ALVR or something going? It's a virtual desktop kind of thing, but for Linux. You can use it on Windows, I believe, but it's an open source variant. And I was fiddling with that, and it really started to get on my tits because when I recompiled it, I compiled some different libraries and just. And then when I went and installed the overlay the other day, that then said, no, we don't like these libraries, this is in conflict with what we're doing, blah, 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 do you want to install this? And I'm like, oh. And so it was just getting messy. I don't like mess on my installs. And frankly, I don't like KDE, so KDE in the desktop environment, so I'm just going to bloody nuke it. I'm going to pull the SATA cable for my Windows install and then just nuke the Linux drive. I'm going to put Manjaro GNOME on there. I've just downloaded the new version. It shouldn't take a huge amount of time to actually get set up because I don't do a huge amount to get GNOME how I like it, but you know, in theory, I'm going to actually watch a video about Trackmania cheaters. I'm hoping to start by about 2:30. I should be finished well before 3. So, and I'm really hoping I don't accidentally nuke my games drive, my Windows game drive, but it's not a big video. I don't actually have everything installed on there. I'm also going to pull all the stuff out of the back of the machine, just to the USB devices, just so I can start clean. So headset, Go XLR Mini, all that kind of, just all of it, just pull it, install clean. And then that way as well, I have installed Linux on the machine that it's running on, because the current install of KDE came from my little games machine, my little Optiplex 990, Intel Core i5 2400, and like a 1050 Ti or was it a 1650. I need to go to a Ryzen 7 like 3700X and 3080. So just a little jump. Clean up. Right, so it's 228. We want to install on the Toshiba. That's the smallest one, it's a 512. So I think I've got everything off that I need to get off the machine, but we'll see. All that's realistically left to do is come in here, get out of the way, you, and you. And I want to pull, not the red SATA, there should be a black one there. Bam. Right, that's my Windows drive. There's a Sabrent M2 in there somewhere, but that's just for games, I think. I've unplugged everything that I can think of off the top of my suite. There's a couple of hubs plugged in. This is plugged into a hub and that's connected up to nothing. You're unplugged. You're unplugged. I think I've got everything. Got me Ventoy drive hooked up. So, cross your fingers I don't nuke the wrong thing. I only nuke the right thing. But we're not doing it from orbit. Can't really be sure now. Pish! I forgot to unplug you. You bastard. Alright, UEFI petition Kingston data traveller. Bosh. Ventoy! Oh, hang on. I've got two Manjaro Gnomes on there. Well, we want that one. Because that's the one with the newest, the kernel. See? I think, isn't it? Yeah. 2, 3, 1. Yeah. Up yours, KDE. Source proprietary drivers. Oh, pish. Right, you don't need to see this, so I'll be back in a sec. I'm not kidding you. Literally, just setting up that bit wrong would be enough to really. It's like if I hadn't got the times and all that stuff set right, I'd have just. It does. It really does. And I'm like, no, I don't care how smooth it is. It's got to go. It's got to be redone. But you can change all that stuff later. I don't care. It's got to be redone. Oh, it's so annoying. It is so annoying. But it's got to be done. Oh, wow. Dark themed. Beautiful. I don't know how I feel to this. What's this? All this. That's awfully white. Launch. Oh, hang on. Oh, it's gone proper. Oh, I love it. Proper theming. Yeah. I don't know if there was something else that was going on there to make that do that, but that's potentially kind of making me go. Okay, go. We got this. Come on. Oh, come on. We got this. Yeah. Okay. See, even doing this stuff wrong will make my brain click. So, yup. We don't want it on the Sabrent. We want it on the Toshiba, yeah. Yeah. Erase. Swap and hibernate, please. Let's check. Toshiba. Erase. Swap or hibernate. Oh god, gotta make sure I got it right. I'm not kidding. The XT4, yeah, that's fine. It was the Toshiba I needed to wipe, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Yeah. That'll do. Right, next. Right? Okay. I just thought of another thing that gets me too. You know the way that I type my name, right? That has to be just right, and maybe it is OCD. Just people like, cause I'll often then go through and then delete it and then retype it, and then delete it again and retype it. I won't just delete like the bits that I think are wrong. I'll just delete the whole thing and retype it, and it's got to be typed just right. Not like, oh, he's made a mistake a third of the way through. Delete that one letter. No, the whole thing. If it's not like if the uppercase isn't in the right place, the lowercase ain't in the right place. It just really makes my. It really does make my brain fizz, and it's just so annoying. And just let's just hit the install button, alright? No, my luck, the name of the machine is wrong, and so then I'll have to wipe it again and change the name because that's just the way my brain works. I'm done. I just want to throw out there, it says here, all Manjaro editions are completely customizable to exactly how you want it, from theming to the very kernel itself. And I'm like, oh, don't say that. Don't say that. There we go. Done, pretty much. So now just installing games. Although I must say, I don't know if there's something they've changed. Ah, no, it is, okay. I was going to say, because a minute ago, when I tried to search for stuff, the search wasn't coming up with what I wanted. So what was that? It was Steam. Yeah, sure. Okay, that's sorted now. I was going to say, God, don't you dare. I'm with 10 minutes to spare. So now I guess I can hook up some of the kit again, and hopefully jobs are good. I just seen something new. So, like most of the time when I plug in VR headsets and stuff, I've already got Steam VR and stuff installed. but it was still installing. It's 50% through. But look, I just plugged in the Vive and just hooked it up, and it's come up with a thing. I've never seen that before. Install Steam VR to make full use of your headset. That's well good. Look, that's just such a. I am pleased by small things, okay? Take that however you will, and I'm pretty sure there are people going, ha! Shut up. Snack time. Fantastic stuff now. I almost had to nuke the nuked install and repave again. What? Why? I hit install on Steam for Tomb Raider and nothing come up. It just sat installing. Like no window came up to say, like, do you want to add desktop shortcuts or whatever, it said installing. And then I went to go click some other bits and they came up with the text box and let me install. They just started downloading and all that kind of stuff, but Tomb Raider just sat there. I didn't nuke and repave, I just closed Steam after all the other stuff had finished downloading, reopened it, downloaded, done. Downloaded stuff like Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike, Tomb Raider, Metro Last Light Redux, and bits like that. And then I spent a massive chunk of the evening, more than I probably should have done, dicking around with setting up an overlay for VR. Because I did mention earlier that there was one out there, and realistically to find it you just type in Steam VR Linux overlay, I believe, and that will take you to a GitHub page where you can pull down this overlay. It's written in Godot. Godot? Sounds about right. It's Godot, but it's Godot. You have access to 3 versions and they're in alpha. And I couldn't get any of them to work. I actually got really kind of like, what? I just couldn't figure it out. First off, it was me being a nuggie, pulling stuff from GitHub. I was just like, where's the thing that I need? No, I just completely overlooked the releases page. Don't ask, my brain just wasn't in it. I then pulled down all 3 versions. I pulled down the latest one first, and it just wouldn't work. You had to gen auth keys and go to the Twitch dev pages to set up an app and get your keys sorted and all that. I've done this kind of stuff before. So I was just like, yep, got this sorted, not a problem. And it didn't work. I was like, right, have I put in the string correctly that it's asking for? Looks like it, but it just doesn't work. I'm going to assume it was probably still my fault. But then I checked through the other 2 versions, the version 0. whatever 1, the first alpha, and then the second alpha. The first one had like spelling mistakes in the instructions that are on the connections page. And then the second one had fixed the spelling mistakes or something, like one or the other, and then the web address that it wants you to put into for the Twitch apps API to get your keys generated, that was wrong. I was like, okay, but I'd already figured all this stuff out. I was like, wow, this is kind of, not to be nasty, it's kind of slop that it was like that. But again, it was alpha. So I couldn't really complain, but it just seemed weird that like things that were correct at one point were then fluffed up in the next release, like in the manual, in the instructions. It just seemed really, really bizarre to me. The UI was being improved, but the what's it called wasn't. But then I found a fork which also had 3 alphas to it, and I pulled those down. And oddly enough, they all pull from the same Godot dot files being config files. One of them just was having like none of it. The second one would let me put in a connection because it actually then gave me the fields that it needed me to put the information into to get the keys that I generated to work, which was great. But then it wouldn't allow me to, one of them wouldn't allow me to actually click OK to say, yes, use that connection. And the other one, if you did put in the connection, it wouldn't then let you customize the fields correctly for setting up the overlay. There was something silly like that. The newest one was more broken than the second release. So I might have to put some shit up on GitHub just to say, look, this is broken. You know, works fine in version 2. Check out this, or 0. We'll pretend it's like 0.02 or whatever. It's broken in 0.03. Do whatever. I can just look at the source, but then I don't know much of anything about Godot, so it might be something else to look into. But managed to get it to work, and whilst it's not a particularly fantastic overlay, it's pretty jank compared to some of the others. Like OVR Toolkit on Windows, fantastic. This one, but, and in fairness, I haven't really dug around a huge amount. It's alpha software, it's free, but it's like it's got an IRC client in it. You actually, because you have to have auth keys, you have to have auth keys to use different Twitch APIs to be able to log into Twitch chat and all that kind of stuff too. It literally like logs into, the overlay logs into IRC and then just puts IRC up on it. It's not like a window that you've taken from your desktop. It logs into IRC. It's pretty neat. I liked that. I was like, oh wow, that's well cool. It's got its own built-in IRC client. That's what it's for. And that's all I want it for. It's just to be able to see chat on the screen. But yeah, I just spent some time doing that. Realistically, I did want to play some TF2 with Noodle, but I didn't get a chance. Bless him, he was sat waiting for me for ages. We said we'll play tomorrow. We'll definitely play tomorrow. And his brother's home tomorrow, the two, because as I said, he's on a school trip. I've been a bit distracted today, to be honest. I'm not used to the house being so empty. I always complain about life being mega busy and hectic and stuff, but as soon as the kids are away, or even just one of the kids are away, I'm lost, man. Like, my routine just gets completely broken. I'm like, and I don't want that to discourage the kids from going out and doing stuff, but it just seems really weird. The house just seems so slow, empty. I don't know. But it was nice actually. I did get to hang out with Noodle for a bit, and I really hope the big man has a good day on his trip. But yeah, must play some TF2 with Noodle to tomorrow, and whatever big man wants to play too. Realistically, but had fun. Felt like a complete nuggie trying to get that overlay going. Wasted way too much time on it. So glad I don't faff around with code that much anymore. Hopefully it works a treat and lets me read the chat tomorrow. I'll like to see if I can actually do a proper full-on stream in Linux from 10 till 2 without breaking anything or fiddling with anything. Oh, and that's the other trick. I got the sounder working through my USB sound card because it disappeared. Before, just randomly just up and disappeared on my KDE install. The input was there. First the input was gone and the output was there. Then they both disappeared. Then the microphone input came back and then the headphones were gone and just would not come back. They just wouldn't come back. And then I looked in the ALSA mixer. It was all there, but you just couldn't do anything with it. You just couldn't do anything with it. Nothing else would see it. Mental. So nuke and repave. Good the times. I know I like a good puzzle. But I've got other stuff I should really be doing. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go crash out. God, I really hope they've had good days. I really hope Big Man's having a good day, good night. Hope he has a good time tomorrow. Really hope Noodle's okay too, because, you know, I don't want him to be bored and I don't want him to be lonely, and I really should have spent more time with him this evening. Just always feel like I'm playing catch up. Hope you are. I'll see you all with a bit of luck tomorrow. That is totally not what I wanted to say, was it? There was something else, but that's gone. It's fine. It's fine.